Welcome into the crypto bunker. I was looking at some of the charts, tech charts, crypto charts, and I just had to make a video because I am very interested in making some bets on tech, actually, right now. The charts don't lie. I know you guys probably think like, oh, I'm jumping around to, saying to go all in on precious metals, and that's all I'm going to talk about. Sometimes, you know, um, I go too far into one topic or area, or just investment in general, and I sort of get lost in that. So I apologize, but this is too bullish to ignore. So as we can see, we're seeing higher lows on a lot of these tech names, a lot of crypto names, and um, what I believe to be a potential for a big rally. And we have the merge. And so because the merge is happening probably around, September 16th or so, I actually believe that this will line up perfectly with the 200-day moving average around 2100. So that's where I think we can head to, for the merge, which from the bottom is over 100% gain. So, that's a big gain. And I think that it's funny because I bet you that this might have happened regardless. Um, Sometimes it seems like events and things in the charts, um, almost, lead to these these things happening. Like you can see it in the chart ahead of time. Sometimes, and it's like, and then you're like, did they plan this? But anyway, so it's, I just think we were due for this rally either way. So up to the 200-day moving average. We already are like sort of getting support and conquering the 50 potentially. I mean, this could be resistance as well. But then we could come all the way up to the 200. So I just think that a bear market rally is in order here, and I'm willing to take that risk. And I'm looking, and we can look at a few other charts. I do think Solana, probably the two that I would pick, if I was going to say of taking a trade, it would be ETH and Solana. Um, I think that the Solana could go 100% from here. I think it could go to $80 potentially, and it might even break above its 200 momentarily, because we do have pretty heavy. It looks like this was support, and then now it's probably going to be resistance. But again, just a bear market rally is in order. This is, at times I wish I had more capital, I guess, to deploy, or at least in the right places to allow me to deploy into, many different places. So I kind of have to choose, and that's sometimes how I end up too far into one trade. But again, the 200, I mean, by September, it will probably be down here a little bit more, like 50, like 60 or something. That's why I said I think we will break it. So we'll see here, but um, I do think that's a possibility. So there is a few calls I want to make on the general markets. Um, so the S&P, I believe this is where we're headed. You can see massive volume come in here, and then we've had some green volume come in as well here. I just think we're looking at higher lows on the RSI. We're about to blow through this trend of the RSI. We're just starting to begin to see these higher lows, and again, this is like I guess this is a 2-month trade, so 8 weeks, and this is what I expect up until the September 16th options expiry. I do think we will hit 4250. Everything to me looks set up for a short squeeze, bear market rally, whatever you want to call it. And it just says it in the charts. And I think that a lot of things have been priced in. I'm not sure if technically a recession has been priced in, or how deep a recession. I think what potentially could be priced in is a small, like very quick recession, that we essentially are in right now. And it doesn't even really feel like one though. So it could be kind of like um very shallow, I guess. So there's two camps right now. There's the extreme fear camp, which to me, through history, seems to have always lost. And then you have the total optimist crew where they're just in la la land. Um, they're not really seeing the potential bad things, I guess, that could happen. But there's no one that seems to want to be in the middle. And so I guess on this is where I find myself in this situation, is in the middle, where I'm willing to, stick my neck out on gold and silver, as well as crypto, and as well as now the stock market. Um, and I think that this also sets up well with the dollar sort of topping out, as we talked about. It's very wide here. Um, you know, I do expect, I guess, I mean, we could even try to project where this would be September 15th. It'd be interesting if this came down to touch its 200-day moving average. I wouldn't be surprised. It hasn't done it throughout this entire move. Maybe we are due for a little bit of a bigger correction where we come down here to 100 and then we kind of like fall through the floor a little bit and we end up at like 98. That would probably get us there. That's about a 10% move, and it wouldn't necessarily take out the bulls, I guess. It's also funny that, like, I think the dollar has always been correlated with oil. I mean, because it's the petrodollar, right? Like, it's used to buy oil around the world. Um, it always has been since 1971. I guess we went off the gold standard. Um, Something I just thought of right now is that we're looking at oil already touching its 200 day moving average right there. So maybe the dollar is lagging that, because I mean, we look at, let's see when this started. You could probably say when we crossed bullish was, I guess, November of 2020. And I'm not sure if that's the case for the dollar, November 2020, but yeah, actually it is. I mean, they look they look so similar. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I think that's something. We talked about rates. Well, let's get to the good stuff. So these are a couple of trades I want to take. I talked about the S&P trade, 4250, September 16th. This is the NASDAQ trade. I think September 15th, we're probably looking at around this 325 mark. It could outperform a little bit to 330. But that's a 12% gain on the NASDAQ, and a 10% gain here on this move on the S&P. And that's kind of what everyone's been talking about. And that's a 10% gain from here, I should say, not from the bottom. Obviously, we wicked pretty hard there. So that's basically what I'm thinking. But a few picks here. So Autodesk. Autodesk has actually been a stock that you may have never heard of, but it's really been, a leader in the NASDAQ, as you can see, for years. And it's right on this trend line here that started back in February of 18, when the Fed originally raised rates and then cut. So it's even almost close to the COVID lows. So you would think we would get some support here. It's basically a software company that helps build like architecture around, like, I guess, many different things, but just like people using, like developers using it. it actually is helping build the metaverse. It's part of the Meta Ball Index that is available to invest in, um, as like companies that basically invest in the metaverse, or are working in the metaverse. So that's kind of where I'm looking, actually, is all the names from that index, because I think that that's kind of like as close as you can get to crypto right now, and if you want to invest in calls that aren't like in DeFi and everything. Um, yeah, so just doing it like the legal way, essentially, to do this. But yeah, we're below the 200 week, which, I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened. I mean, just seems very oversold. We're getting higher lows here, even on the weekly time frame. As you can see, higher lows, which is a good sign. And it even was showing higher lows before the bottom, which is, a really good sign. So, nothing crazy, but this trend line coming in here is pretty good. And I think we're due to come up and touch it. So I have that at 220, September 16th call. Obviously, none of what I say is financial advice, like always, but for any of these. But yeah, 220 is about a 20% move. Meta, this is also very oversold. As you can see, we're very wide. We are also making higher lows on the RSI, even from before the bottom, which is cool to see. And so, yeah, I'm actually playing this top trend. This is actually from the very top, and we just haven't touched it yet again. Basically since 2022. I mean, Facebook was sort of like the original one that sort of took the hit. And again, we're flirting around this trend line. For some reason, it's underneath it. I think maybe to freak people out. I don't know. But it's kind of coiling down here. I mean, this is like a pretty early call to make here. Honestly, on this one, it's a little. It feels like I don't know if this is riskier. There's not like too much volume coming in, but maybe there's never that much volume now that I'm looking at it. But so yeah, I mean, for Facebook or Meta, I'm looking at 22% move to 210. That's where I think the 200 is going to be at by that time. It might even be higher, but this is just that trend line I'm following. I guess I actually took the lower trend line potentially here. Yeah, I think I took the lower trend line, but again, like, you could get a little bit crazier with this one, because if it breaks this, I mean, this is the top of this little, April is 230. So this one even could outperform it's, I guess. And then we have Roblox. This one's obviously riskier, but it's already been looking really good. It's higher lows on the RSI. It's actually probably overbought at this point. I'm not really sure, because like we kind of missed all the other stocks are sort of like here. It's almost like the ETH chart a little bit with crypto. I think it kind of saw this coming and it sort of freaked out and went up like real quick, as you could see over the weekend. So, but I do think it's possible that we could rally to 49, which is a 25% gain or something like that. So, and then we have the last one I was looking at is Coinbase, because I think with ETH, like, going into the merge, is also going to be bullish for Coinbase. And I see this one as like a massive gainer, because we're so, I mean, potentially oversold, I guess. And again, we're just like potentially breaking out of this, and it's a newer stock. So I mean, it just seems very wide here on the moving averages. And I think we could come up to 120 on Coinbase, which is, obviously like over 100% gain. So that's what I'm looking at. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your night.